for a while.
No, he might.
DJ, I actually think that this part of the year when there's so much gambling available. I mean, we're in the heart of the college football season. We're in week 12 of the NFL season. College basketball, let me go to the NBA started. College basketball is in the heart of these holiday tournaments. You know how it's like the cool thing now to say it's like blah 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 season.
Mm-hmm.
I am labeling this forget about your family season because every single night there is something on with sports that I am in love with and I want to gamble on.
I am at the point in my career or gambling career where I'm in the you talk about forget about your family. I'm so close to that, as in like I owe my bookie so much money, I'm about to leave the country. Time.
Well, there's one remedy for that, and I've got it in my hand. So let's just get loaded because this is the Loaded Box Podcast,
Where we never finish first because we finished last.
Welcome back, Loaded Box Podcast. Ben Morgan, DJ Primo. DJ, we're recording this later than we typically do. It's like 9:10 p.m. our time. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Dude, I think back like not even that long ago. This was like historically one of our nights to just get absolutely loaded. We would never consider like doing too much in regards to like productive stuff Wednesday night or not even close to Thursday morning. This used to be one of our party days. What happened?
You texted me and you're like, do you have plans? Do you have blah, blah, blah? And my response was like, how the fuck old do you think I am where I'm going out on fucking on the blackout Wednesday night? I'm going to be hammered till 2 a.m. in the morning. No, I had a couple of drinks with the family and now I'm home drinking by myself like a adult.
I am like carbon copy of what you did. And now we're just having a few more drinks here while we podcast, but depressing. We're not that old. It's just that like kids and family obligations have just taken over life. That's why I'm saying it's forget about your family season. We should have just put that behind us. I should have drove to Madison and we should have gotten blackout, whatever you called it, Blackout Wednesday.
Blackout Wednesday. It's leave your family season. Retreat to Mexico season.
Yeah,
they never have to play your bookie. Avoid your bookie season is really what it is because it's the end of the game. It's the end of the like football gambling season. Well, college football. Still obviously a few weeks left in the NFL season, but like it's really how do you make enough excuses to your bookie to just continue to put off payment?
It's the holiday season. Be like, dude, I need to buy my family Christmas presents.
Gifts, bro.
I'll hit you back in January.
Yeah, we'll talk next month.
There you go. Well, DJ, last week I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping here because technically I didn't go 3-1. That's a nice looking glass. Good pour. Based on what I told you on the podcast, I didn't go 3-1, but based on some information that we received Sunday morning about Lamar Jackson, I put a tweet out that said, hey, I'm still taking the Ravens, but I am going to take the improvised spread. So I did give myself the win on that one. So last week I went 3-1 plus 0.9 units. And even though you did the fun back and forth with me, what a great win. But to be fair, since you plugged it in, you had your Bears bet like plus 5.5. I also gave you the win just because you were on record for it. But despite that, you still only went 2-4. You lost 0.4 units. But DJ, for the year, I've been like turning it up a little bit here. I'm now plus 2.2 units for the year. You are now negative 1.1 units for the year. It's Thanksgiving. You've been given a lot to your bookie. Is it time for you to finally turn the goddamn ship around?
I'm not gonna lie. I was damn near betting every game this week. I like the board. I haven't said this year yet. This is my favorite week of the board. Like my favorite board. I like the board more than any week I've had this year. I love the board. I feel like I know what's happening this week. And I've said that you should probably fade me for the last few weeks. This week, bet everything I bet. Bet it. I'm telling you right now, I love the board more than I've ever loved it.
We are going to hype up this episode because you're claiming that it's your favorite board of the week. We've got Thanksgiving games. We've almost got action on all of the Thanksgiving games here. Plus, I am debuting my game of the year. I only do one of these every single NFL season. I have got my game of the year, and I cheated. I looked ahead. You might not agree with me, so we will get there. Little teaser, but let's kick it off with the first game. Thanksgiving. We got Bears and Lions, and DJ, we're already going against each other because I've got the Bears -3 for 0.1 unit. You've got the Lions +3, obviously, for 0.4 units. I agree that the Lions seem to be in every single game except for that 1 week where we both bet on them. I think that was against the Eagles. But even with the Bears like quarterback situation in flux, the rumors about Matt Nagy, Allen Robinson being banged up and missing time, I don't think I care.
Just named all the reasons.
I know, but Andy Dalton is not like he's like this guy coming into the first ever start. Like this is what Andy Dalton has worked with his entire NFL career. They're going to be just fine. And you know what, the Lions? Man Campbell wants to win, but there's no incentive to win. As long as this thing stays at 3, I'm not fucking going crazy. It's 11:30 on Thanksgiving morning. All I want is a little tickle of the action. Give me the Bears. I'm not betting on the Lions. I want to bet on this game, but I'm not taking the Lions. So give me I'll swallow those points and I'll take the road favorite all day here.
Nothing better than a home dog. If you don't like a home dog, then get the fuck out of here. It's a dog weekend. You'll see as I go on. I love it.
I got all favorites.
We just talked about this shit. You just said it. Like, the rumors for the last 2 to 3 years is that the locker room doesn't like Matt Nagy, not much less now. They give up on him during this part of the season. That team is giving up on Matt Nagy. And if they know that he's like on the precipice of being fired on Thanksgiving Thursday, like, what reason do you have to play then? Like, what more reason do you have to not put all your effort out on the field at Thanksgiving, want to get home to eat, and I hate my coach?
We're treating it like it's middle school flag football, and
they don't give a shit.
Players just want to get home.
They want to get the fuck out of there. They're done with this guy. They're going to start with a new regime. The Lions are still full bore. Everybody believes in Dan Campbell. He sucks. They're going to be they're terrible. They're a bad football team. They're going to be a bad football team. That doesn't matter. But at least they're still playing football. At least they have DeAndre Swift. Justin Fields is better than Andy Dalton. Everybody was like, oh, Andy Dalton's back. He scored 14 fucking points. And then lost in some sham game at the end.
That was terrible.
Backup quarterback. It was the most ridiculous game I've ever seen. But I just feel like they've given up on him. You give me 3 points here, Lions can keep it close, if not win this game. It may be a tie again. If they tie, I win. So whatever, doesn't matter. We're looking at overtime.
The definition of coach speak was a reporter asking Matt Nagy if there was any truth to that rumor that this was his last game. What the fuck do you think Matt Nagy's going to say to that?
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate modern day like media when it comes to asking coaches questions. You're going to get the most cliche answer. I could do every press conference for any NFL coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unbelievable. All right, DJ. Well, we're already up against each other in one game, so hell,
I'm so much more confident than you two. I've got 0.4 units on that.
You are. But this one we're even on, and we're once again against each other. So we're both going to skip over that Cowboys Falcons game. I don't think either of us believe. Is it the Falcons?
I have no idea, but it's gross.
Now I'm
the Jaguars.
Oh, the Falcons play the Jaguars. The Cowboys, I'm blanking on who the Cowboys play now.
They play Young Mama. I got it right here, actually. They play the Raiders.
That's what it was. I knew it was a team of
Raiders.
You got to do that every time.
Gotta do it.
God, that bothers me. I knew it was a team that had black on their uniform. I was close with the Falcons. But we're going to do it again. The nightcap on Thanksgiving. I'm taking the favorite, the Bills -6 versus the Saints for 0.2 units. You've got the same amount of units on the Saints as the home dog once again. So I'm going to let you kick this one off. You said it's who doesn't like a home dog? So why don't you go ahead and just repeat yourself again?
You give me a 6-point home dog against the Bills team. Against the Bills team that doesn't, you know how hard it is to win in the Superdome? It's so fucking loud. The snap count is hard to do. Like the Packers were they weren't really struggling with it, but it's loud in Minnesota. And I can't imagine what a struggling Josh Allen and the Bills team are going to do against a really good defense. Two really good defenses. Like it's going to be like 3-6. I probably should have taken the under which would mean that you should bet the over in this game. But I don't know. Who's playing quarterback? Trevor Siemian still?
Trevor, yeah, you said it right there. I don't need to even give
What
analysis.
has Josh Allen and the Bills done? Like, what have they
They
done?
struggle for a week and then they bounce back.
But it's been a few weeks now.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
I don't know if they will. They're getting into this Chiefs thing where they don't have a running identity. Like, they can't do it, and the running game is Josh Allen. The Chiefs busted out.
Do they even try, though? Like, I feel like if they just committed to it at one point, they'd be okay.
And the Chiefs didn't do that either, right? And then they decided, okay, maybe we should run a little bit more. And now they started to figure out back into a rhythm. And the fact that Mahomes is throwing more on time and things like that. Well, Josh Allen's just falling into that problem. And maybe I'm too late. Maybe they'll adjust. But I don't see how they will. I don't think they trust their running backs. They continue to fall in this thing where it's like, okay, we're just going to trust Josh Allen to throw the ball constantly. And we know that Saints pass defense. They did it to Tom Brady. Tom Brady, they murder every time they play him. They can do it to Josh Allen. Like, they can shut him down. They can make him throw pick sixes, interceptions, get him sacks and turnovers. I don't know why I would think that they could do it to Tom Brady, and who's been in this league forever and won multiple Super Bowls, but not do it to Josh Allen, who's still very young and hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet. 6 is too many points for this really, really, really talented Saints defense at home, at a huge home field advantage in the NFL, in the Dome. Have to take the home dog here.
Here's the thing, man. Yeah, Tom Brady is like the best quarterback that we've ever seen, but Josh Allen behind Tua. Josh Allen moves. Tom Brady manipulates the pocket. Josh Allen
but it hasn't worked
outside of the pocket. To an extent, I can give you that.
Aaron Rodgers was 38-3, like he beat the fuck out of us.
Here's the crazy thing, though. So, like, the Saints, they're like the definition of imploding right now. They were 5-2 4 weeks ago. The last 3 weeks, lost to the Falcons.
What is that spread now, actually, now that we assume that it's still, let me refresh. I'm just curious if it got any. Nope, 6.5. That also is radish. I just want to throw that out there. I thought
I will give you that. It does feel radish.
No, come on.
Radish.
I like radishes.
Well, like as I was saying though, since that 5-2 start, lose to the Falcons, lose to the Titans, lose to the Eagles. Not just lose to the Eagles, just get straight up embarrassed by the Eagles. That game was terrible. That was a miserable showing of football. And Trevor Siemian, what did he start in that game? Like 1 of 5 or 1 of 7? Do you have your hand up like a child? Go ahead.
Can we talk about how much better the NFC is than the AFC as well?
No, not yet, because I want to tell you something about the Titans or the Bills. So they beat the Chiefs. Next week, they lose to the Titans. Next week, they beat the Dolphins. Next week, they lost a terrible game to the Jags. Then they beat the Jets, boom, lose to the Colts. Guess what they're on pace to do this week? They're going to be just fine. They bounce back. This is that perfect bounce back game against the Saints.
It's a bunch of AFC teams.
I prove my point.
They're cannibalizing each other. They all are really bad, and they just continue to beat each other, and nobody knows who's good in the AFC, and I'm confused. But I know that there are like 4 really good teams in the NFC, and I think there are 4 teams in the NFC better than the top team in the AFC.
I don't know that I can dispute that. I don't know who the best team in the AFC
I think the Rams, the Packers, the Bucks, and the Cowboys are all better than every team in the AFC.
Yeah, and every other week the Vikings are too.
5 teams, and the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals, you're right. Because there's a case, I don't believe this, but there's a case that the Patriots are the best team in the AFC right now.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to get down that road. And that Mac Jones game, that offensive Mac Jones game last week was it was not good. And their defense really did everything. But that would be sad if they're the best team in the AFC. And
they got a good defense. They can get it done running, and Mac Jones protects the ball. That's all they need to do.
But they can lose just as easily in the first round as they can as get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
It's sad. It's really sad right now, the AFC.
Yeah. No, that'll be a fun way to close out Thanksgiving here.
Can I talk about something?
I hope you're right. You can talk about anything you want. It's your world. You're drinking beer.
Because you love those Dolphins, and I wanted to say it in our messages today. We're talking about you're a huge team. I want to say how bad your Dolphins are.
Wait, are you going to talk about the Dolphins right now?
Yeah, you're on 7 team in a bad AFC. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to go right into your Dolphins
Panthers
game? All right, we're going to go out of order here, but here you go. Go ahead and talk shit about my Dolphins. You're taking the Panthers, who are favored by 2.5 on the road in
Yeah, and
Miami.
here's what it
Point
comes
three
down to.
units.
The Panthers are a top 5 team against both the pass and the run. And the Dolphins are,
Yep.
I know they had their big game, but they're like one of the worst against the pass in the league and bottom half of the league against the run. And you have to face against Christian McCaffrey, who I think we've realized that was fully healthy. And he's the hardest person to defend in both the run game and the pass game. And I predict a 3 to 4, 5 touchdown game for Christian McCaffrey. And both of us know that the Dolphins cannot score more than 20 points. We know that. We do know that. They can't do it. They cannot do it. And this is a huge McCaffrey game. I just don't see how. I literally just, I think McCaffrey takes over. The Dolphins can't do much about it because he's just the one guy who's the hardest to defend. And they are just overmatched by him. Like, they just can't, they don't have the resources to keep up with Christian McCaffrey in the run and the pass game because he's just too much. Where I don't even care about Cam Newton and the fact that he has legs. He'll become an issue for your Dolphins. But the fact that Christian McCaffrey seems to be fully healthy and it looks pretty obvious is a problem for the Dolphins. And there's no way they will be able to keep up with his 4 touchdowns. That's it. That's all they score, too. 4 touchdowns, Christian McCaffrey.
I will admit that your analysis is spot on. Miami, historically, the last couple of years, struggles against a couple of things, tight ends being one of them, and running backs that can make plays out of the backfield as a receiver is definitely another one. So I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't scared of that. The one thing about the stats that you rambled off, yes, those are the stats. You are what you are at the end of the day. However,
thing, yeah.
The recent thing, I mean, ever since they've made changes, which I don't know why they weren't doing it all year. It's what they did all of last season, and it worked great for them. But just bringing that zero blitz. But if you do that against a team like Carolina, with Cam Newton wanting to get rid of the ball early, and with a guy like Christian McCaffrey, who you can get the ball to, that's a huge issue.
By the way.
That's a huge issue. Even Robbie Anderson's an issue, man. He's having a down year, but he's still talented, right?
It's a DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey game. It's a run, give it to McCaffrey, run that play action, slant, get it out.
That scares me, and I'm not betting on this. I mean, I'm not betting on this in the line. I'm betting on this with Loaded Box contributor, our boy Mikey. I'm still prepared. It's a great bet. If anyone remembers back to opening night, week 1, when I'm going to murder this name. I'm so bad at like pop culture, like not the pop culture I'm interested in. I'm good at, but Ed Sheeran.
You actually know it. You're being
Sheeran. I think you're even saying it wrong. Ed Sheeran.
Yes. It's Sheeran.
Scissors hand. Okay. He for some reason NFL. You
don't know to say fucking Ed Sheeran for real. I like Sheeran. You're joking. Yeah.
I think I'm confused with Adam Shaheen from the Dolphins, and I get those mixed up. Anyway, the NFL did one of the worst things of all time by making Ed Sheeran merchandise. So we have a bet that the loser of this has to buy an Ed Sheeran NFL hat and go on the Loaded Box account and do a Twitter live of a statement that's going to be read about basically talking trash about the other person's team. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm confident enough to make that bet. Plus the hat at this point is severely discounted down to $6. So I might buy a couple of them and give them out as birthday presents just to be funny.
I'm afraid they'll be off the shelves by the time that game's over.
Black
Friday coming?
Oh, maybe we just order one just for the sake of getting our name in the hat.
One to both of you just in case.
We both secretly want one.
Absolutely.
DJ, I don't hate this bet. I'll say that as a Dolphins fan. I don't hate this bet. Twitter's a crazy place. We know that, right? There's Dolphins fans out there that think they can make the playoffs. I couldn't even say that without
4-7, and they're going to make the playoffs.
They do have a sneaky, not so great upcoming schedule.
I've heard it. I still don't think it's that easy for them because when you're
because you have to win out. You literally have to win out in order to get your 10 wins.
You are not good. You're not a good football team.
Yeah, there's issues.
The game is hard.
The game is hard for the Miami Dolphins. I can't disagree with that.
It's really hard. Joe Flacco took you guys down to the brink. Joe Flacco stinks, and he's been there for 2 weeks.
Joe Flacco. Okay, so I know this is not about the
not
Panthers.
even think about complimenting Joe Flacco.
I'm not
in
going
my
to compliment
fucking
him. I'm
presence
gonna
right now.
I'm
Don't
gonna
say
give a
good thing.
reason as to
Don't even
why.
hint at a good thing about Joe Flacco. Wait, well, just do not even fucking consider it. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind right now. Seriously, I'm gonna lose my mind if you're gonna try to compliment Joe Flacco right now.
It's not a compliment to Joe Flacco as much
I
as
can
it
already tell
is.
it's more than you should be.
It's more so a tip of the hat to his
No,
longevity
that's
in the
enough.
league. He's a veteran quarterback. He knows how to handle a zero pressure. But Cam Newton does too.
Sorry, I had to take over and mute you when you started to say that. I'm like, I gotta mute him. I
That
know
was
it's not a thing I should do, but in that moment, it felt like the right thing to do.
cold, and it was the right thing to do. I
It
can't
was.
disagree with
I
that.
had to do it because I
Well,
knew we had the controls to do it, but I was like, I just can't let him do this to the listeners.
yeah. Let me pivot off of that Jets game then and just give you what I think about what Miami can do against Carolina. And the answer is I don't know what they can do because we know Miami can't run the ball. One, they don't have running backs. Two, they don't have an offensive line that can run block or pass block. And now I think statistically the Panthers are the best in the league against the pass in yards per game.
I don't know. I think they're like third in the pass game and fifth in the run.
Either way, I mean, we're talking about a top 3 or top 5 defense, and we're still talking about a Dolphins offense that's not going to have Devontae Parker, not going to have Will Fuller. Well, you know what pisses me off? Will Fuller could benefit this team by never seeing a target. Let him go on the boundary and run a 9 route.
Is he playing?
He hasn't played for a long time, and he's not coming back this week either. But not having those guys and relying on Albert Wilson and Mac Hollins, that'll suffice against the Jets every once in a while. It's not going to suffice against the third best pass defense in the league.
Is Will Fuller turned into like Deshaun Jackson, where everywhere he goes, we think he's going to be good after like a solid season a long time ago, and we're like continue like when was the last time Deshaun Jackson was good? We're 10 years on the road, and I still only remember like 1 or 2 good seasons from him, and then it's just like they thought he was a deep threat, but like he really just gets injured. Not that exciting. Makes a good play every now and then. But like Will Fuller is that guy now. He had a solid, really good season or 2 with Deshaun Watson or whatever. But like when it comes down to it, he's injured and now he's on the Dolphins. And where else can he go? At this point, he's just not. And people are going to continue to like draft him in fantasy or bring him across and talk about him and like be like, in fantasy rankings, they're going to vault him up because it's like, he's just not a good football. He's just not good anymore. He's not good.
Which is hard to swallow because last year when like Hopkins was not there and the Texans were bad, Fuller was dominating.
Yeah.
Fuller put like, and he wasn't just running like 9 routes anymore. Like he was becoming like a complete receiver that like, if you broke down his route tree, he was above average on every single route that you can run. Like he was putting it together. And there was high hopes in Miami. Like I was pumped about that signing, especially the deal, 1-year deal, not paying him all that much. He stole that money.
The best thing that happened is the Packers not getting him last year. Like the best ability is availability. It's so cliche, but he's not reliable and he's not available. And he's not worth your money or time at this point. Anybody's.
No, it's crazy and it's disappointing. And like I said, I'd like to defend my Dolphins more in this game, but I'm not betting on it by any means, but God, it's hard for me to argue your side on this one. I mean, that's just my honest opinion as a Dolphins fan.
A control game. They don't give them the option to turn it over, and Christian McCaffrey's unstoppable. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. You know what game I am excited about, though, DJ? No. I teased this one earlier. Game of the year. If you're looking at the scrolly thing on either YouTube or Twitter Live, you see GOTY. And yes, that doesn't stand for Get Out the
Game of Thrones.
Yodel. I didn't know where I was going to go with that. I should have let you just pipe in. Game of the year, baby. Buccaneers -3 at Colts. I'm not doing 0.2 units. I'm not doing 1 unit, DJ. I am going 2 full units.
Oh, I thought I read that wrong.
Yeah, you did read it wrong. You didn't think you read it wrong. You did read it wrong. Because DJ, you're on the other side of this. You're taking the Colts, but you're 0.1 unit. My theory, before I even go into why I like the Buccaneers so much to make them my game of the year, I thought you just looked at our notes and was like, well, Ben's going to mess this one up. He's going all in on a team. I'm going to go the opposite way. I can't tell if it's me or DJ that is muted or is completely offline. So now I feel like I have the urge to explain myself here in case it's DJ that's no longer with us. So with that, I'm going to improvise, and I'm going to say first and foremost, I apologize for the delay as we wait for DJ to come back. He's going to be pissed too because I'm going to talk about my game of the year, and I think he got so scared that he just decided to just peace out on this one. And I'll probably end up repeating this because when DJ gets back, I'll have to, since he's on the other side of this. But there's one thing that the Colts can do very well, and we saw it firsthand last week in that game against the Bills, and that's run the ball. Jonathan Taylor obviously scored, 5 touchdowns in that game, had his way with what we thought was one of the best defenses in the entire league. Well, guess what? Teams don't even bother running the ball against the Buccaneers. They know better. Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, no one even messes with that defensive line, not from the running game standpoint. So now all of a sudden, even if they try to run the ball, yes, they have a great offensive line. Yes, they have a great running back, but they're not going to find all this unlimited success. The ball at the end of the day is going to be in Carson Wentz's hands, and he's going to have to make the plays, which, as we historically know, especially over the last few years, is a recipe for disaster for a team that's led by Carson Wentz. So I'm just completely going the opposite way on this one. Got the Buccaneers on the short week. Oh, well. It was a game against the Giants where I believe they were at home. Not worried so much about that one at all. And you're going to Indianapolis where weather's not going to be an issue. You're talking about Tampa, who's used to playing in a warmer climate. But you're going indoors to Indianapolis, so no concerns whatsoever about the weather. I'm not scared about the Colts defense this year the way that I anticipated being scared about the Colts defense. So that doesn't faze me really either. We're still not going to have Antonio Brown. We saw Gronkowski return last week, but you still got a healthy Mike Evans. You still have a healthy Chris Godwin. Leonard Fournette's still in the mix. We saw Rojo finally score last week. I'm not worried about this Buccaneers team whatsoever. Like I said, the Colts, if you want to beat them, stop the run. All you have to do is stop the run. Make Carson Wentz have to be the one that makes the plays. And I feel very comfortable in the idea that Carson Wentz isn't going to be able to be that guy. So, like I said, I only do it once a year. I've been waiting. It's taken 12 weeks to make this prediction or this call happen, and I'm doing it. I'm taking the Buccaneers -3, 2 full units. So as we wait for DJ to return, I am going to go into the next one. And DJ's texting me over here. He says, send me the link. So, geez, now I have to try to figure out how to do this. This guy is beyond useless. I don't even know how to send a link here. Let's see. What can we do? Invite. Let's send one to DJ. I apologize for this. Here I am trying to give my game of the year, and DJ's here just messing every single thing up for me here. All right. Got DJ in there. Just hit send. I'll go back here and see if we can't get him back in this. So, with that said, we're going to stall a little bit longer. We're going to give DJ a time to get all loaded here, and then not just loaded with getting his computer back up, but hopefully he's slamming a couple of beers and making it worth our while here. Just get him a little bit more riled up. He said he was having beers with his family prior to this. That's what we were both ended up doing. We just happened to be in different locations. So hopefully he's slamming beers. getting ready for the next debut back into this podcast. So as we wait for that, I will just jump ahead into one just to be on the safe side in case it takes a little while to get back in. Oh, I take that back. We have DJ. I wonder if he needs me to add him. I'm going to add him just to be on the safe side. DJ, can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
can't hear anything.
You can't hear me?
Oh, fucking A.
Oh man, DJ is just blowing this podcast. Just completely
The
blowing.
Loaded Box Podcast. This is what we do.
He also looks funny from this angle too. Because he's got this light above him. I love it. If you're watching this live, it's probably at least somewhat entertaining. But if you're like podcast format only, it's just me trying to figure out what the hell DJ is doing. And you're like, Jesus, can't these guys just pause the goddamn episode? Well, the answer is no. Fairly low budget over here. I mean, we spend all of the profit that we get from this on Busch Lights. So you know where the priorities lie. Give me a second here so I can wet the throat a little bit with some of that Busch Light. That's pretty good shit. So, all right. Well, I was just going to improvise, but now DJ's back. God, maybe he's back. We'll find out. His thumb's in the way. Did that work?
That worked. I had to I don't know why it didn't work there.
I know why it didn't work.
Why?
Because your thumb was in the way.
No, right now it was, but like Mike, it wasn't working or whatever on the phone. I'm getting back on the computer, but holy shit, that's never happened here. I'm not.
So you know what the funniest thing about the pause was I'm so used to my internet failing that I just sat there in silence, like, well, DJ's probably covering my ass.
I did too. I actually started talking. I know we're live on the podcast, so I started talking like you were gone. And I just kept going. I was like, oh, wait, it's me.
So great. Yeah, there's no way for us to know on that one either. So it is what it is. DJ, all I did while you were gone was talk shit about you and explain why the Buccaneers are the game of the year. And I really don't want to make the listeners have to listen to what I said. But what I want you to do is explain your side of why you're taking the Colts without really even hearing why I like the Buccaneers. And then I can just kind of like briefly rebuttal why I think you're wrong.
I just think Jonathan Taylor is taking so much control of the game right now that nobody, including Tampa Bay, can stop him at this point. And it has nothing to do with Carson Wentz. Plus, the defense is good enough to slow down like Tom Brady that it's just like they're so hot in this Jonathan Taylor team. It's just Jonathan Taylor. That's what it comes down to.
So do you want to hear what I said about Jonathan Taylor?
What?
I said, yes, the offensive line for the Colts is good. Yes, yeah. Jonathan Taylor is great. However, opposing teams don't even try to run the ball against Tampa Bay.
Same with Buffalo, though.
Yeah, I hit on that. But that's a big thing. And let's just say Tampa Bay gets out to an early lead and all of a sudden you can't run the ball. And now the game is in the hand of Carson Wentz. And prior to that one season where he was an MVP candidate, sign me up for that all day. He is bound and determined to make all the mistakes. Man, I don't want to say he's going to be Daniel Jones-esque in that last game against Tampa Bay, but he has the potential of throwing just dumb interceptions and trying to extend plays and fumbling the ball. This is not a high enough spread. 3 is perfect. That's game of the year perfect. I'm not worried at all about this. This game just screams at me. 2 units, not 1, 2.
Yeah, I just think Jonathan Taylor's so dominant. It doesn't matter that defense is kind of unhealthy. The offense is definitely unhealthy for Tampa Bay. They have just not been consistent or anything that I have expected them to be right now. And honestly, I'm not, as a Packer fan, worried about them at this point. And it's like the hot team versus the team that's like, right now, I like the Colts in this game. It's at home, again, another home dog, right?
Well, I hit that too. I said, so Tampa being a team that traditionally plays most of its games in a warm weather climate, as we have 2 DJs, which is going to break some people's ears. Let's see if we can't get him in here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
Well, it looks like you're in a whole different fucking universe now. It's funny.
It's weird. I knew it was gonna squeal. I had to like try to get out of my phone and on here at the same time as fast as I could.
Yeah, it was like a second and a half. People have been drinking; they won't even notice.
Welcome.
I was saying about that while you were on your hiatus. You were on temporary strike. You didn't like what I was about to say.
Nope.
Tampa Bay is used to playing in a warm climate, right? So you're going up to Indianapolis, but it doesn't matter. You're in a dome. So I don't even think home field advantage even matters at this point in time. I said that.
I didn't say it. Domes are the biggest home field advantage sometimes, I think, with the nose.
Well, you're just saying it's at home, and I said, well, like it's not like weather's going to play a factor. Is what I was getting at.
Who said that it did?
I was implying that someone would say
they
that.
can open the dome. They can open it if they want to.
Not at Indy.
Yes, they can.
Why? Were you going to poke a hole in the roof? That one's not retractable.
You want to make a bet on this?
I've been there.
I will bet you $100 they can open the dome in Indianapolis.
With the doors?
No. They can open the dome up above them in Indianapolis.
Well, I'm sure they don't.
No, they do.
You're thinking of
I
Minneapolis.
know for a fact they can open the dome in Indianapolis, and I want to bet $100 bill.
I don't want to bet anymore. You're scaring me.
Let's bet this. Let's bet it. Do you not follow Jim Irsay on Twitter?
No, I've got morals.
Okay, that's the problem. That's why you don't know this, and I do.
All right, fair enough.
Go look it up. He tweets every fucking week. Dome open today, blah, blah, blah. Dome's not open today, blah, blah, blah. That's
for real?
He tweets it every fucking week.
All right, well, you think they're going to open it up this Sunday?
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying they can't open the door. The dome,
fair enough. Game of the year, 2 units. Follow me. Fuck on DJ.
Damn it.
You were scared. You left the goddamn stream. You were so scared of this game.
I should have given you the opportunity. I wanted the $100 bet. I should have just bet it. Like, what the fuck? Why did I give you the answers?
DJ, this next game is I'm sorry for jinxing you. We're both on the same side finally. We're both taking the Packers against the Rams. You're sticking with your traditional 0.7 units. I'm going 0.1 unit as our in-house Packers I don't like the E word, so I'm going to say Packers follower. What do you got here for us?
Here's the thing. They should have beat Minnesota, obviously. I don't know why Darnell Savage just can't just catch the ball.
What happened, man?
A couple of things. Our special teams is a mess. Mason Crosby missed a field goal. He made a 54-yard field goal, missed a 32-yard field goal, which is less than an extra point, I think it was.
Why does he have a job?
Because what do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? He tried costing that game against the Bengals 17 different times.
But he's one of the most important games for us of all time. He was like 26 in a row.
7 years ago.
No. He made like 25 in a row coming into the season, plus another 7 coming into the season. He's been bad this year. They've had a whole new snapper, a brand new holder. Their snapper is left-handed and their holder's left-handed. So it's really weird. They've had issues there.
Maybe he should try to kick left-footed.
He should probably kick left-footed. But yeah, they're not going to get rid of Mason Crosby as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. So he's just not going anywhere. Sure. That should never be a narrative. That's anything that's going to happen. They would not get rid of him. They just won't do that. Aaron Rodgers and him are like best friends. He's done too much for us in the past with the Cowboys, multiple occasions, and other games like that, game-winning field goals. And those long ones he's made on a consistent basis. But yeah, he's not. There are some Mason Crosby issues. But I don't know what was I saying before we got into the Mason Crosby thing.
I don't know. We spent too much time.
Yeah, Darnell Savage, he's dropped more interceptions than anybody in this entire league this year. And I know most people aren't Packer fans. He had one in that game. It got called back. And this is the second time he's had an interception that got called back because of roughing the passer this year. He's dropped probably 4 before this. He dropped 1 in the end zone earlier that game. He should have had, but it was a little more tough, but he still should have had it. And then he dropped that one, which I don't know how. When you have it in your hands and you tuck it and you have like 3 seconds when you're falling to the ground, and I don't know how you lose that. Anyways.
I stopped watching, and then because I thought he had it. I looked back and the Vikings had the ball. I was another level of confused.
So was I. It was funny. I was celebrating, running around the house, and my buddy's like, he dropped it. I'm like, in what world did he drop the interception? They came back from the commercial and showed it. I'm like, how the fuck did he drop that interception? It was and it was funny because it was such a Kirk Cousins thing. He had all the time in the world. When he threw it, there was nobody near him. He had no pressure, and he threw it right to him. It was such a Kirk Cousins interception to do. It felt right. It just everything was right.
Even the Cousins throw to Thielen, like the player shortly after.
Yeah.
Just wild.
It's because the cornerback turned. I think he had such a good beat on the ball.
He kind of scooted past it too early.
He was like, "Oh, there's no ball here," and it's like on the other side of him. Like it was like it was such a bad throw that
I don't think it was a good play.
But again, the Packers are never a team I'm worried about. They haven't won. I put in my notes here. They haven't lost 2 games in a row in 3 years.
Crazy.
So just common sense tells you just to bet the Packers because they're dogs and they haven't lost 2 games in a row in 3 years.
So
they have 3 losses, and that's Matt LaFleur's max.
There you go. I actually agree with everything you said as to why I like the Packers here. I don't see them losing back-to-backs. I'll ask you, are you scared of the idea that the Rams are coming off of a loss, and I think they're coming off of a bye right after that loss? So they're coming off of we sign OBJ, we lose Robert Woods, we get embarrassed on primetime against the 49ers. Now we get an extra week to prepare for the Packers. That's one concern, and that's why I'm only going 0.1 unit, because I love the Packers at home against anybody. But I think we both are still believers in the Rams, obviously.
Yeah,
but that's one concern for me.
I honestly think if there's one team I'm worried about getting to the Super Bowl over us when it comes to the NFC Championship, it's going to be them. The more I watch them, the more, and the last time we played against them, our biggest strength was last year, our biggest advantage, and I'm telling you right now, this is one game where I think the total is probably the right bet, and if you don't bet the under, you're doing the wrong thing here. I should add the under. It's like a 0.5 unit bet, the under in this game. I don't know what it is. It's probably 40 something at this point because everything's gone. I only could get StreamYard back up just as fast as I could. But they're going to run the shit out of the ball. And it's going to be a lot towards Von Miller, and it's to keep Aaron Donald less aggressive because Elton Jenkins is out and David Bakhtiari isn't there and Josh Myers still isn't back at this point. And they're going to run the ball. And A.J. Dillon's going to run the ball a lot. It looks like Aaron Jones might be playing on. He goes from crying a week before 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, season ending.
He's already practicing. He's practicing.
That's wild.
Aaron Rodgers isn't practicing. He's going to play.
He got COVID toe.
And did you know that's false, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the whole interview is coming? He had his foot out today on his media day, on his media presence today. He pulled his toe out. Did you see that? I
didn't see the clip of it. I just love the idea. He pulled his
toe out on camera. Anyways, Aaron Jones is going to be back. So it's going to be an Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon game. And then this is what they did last year. And then big plays kind of at the end as they go on in the third, fourth quarter, as the safeties start to come down. Obviously they have Ramsey, but the way MVS the entire year would have been money for everybody, which I called because you've seen what he could have been up to this point, and he could be a fantasy championship winner for a lot of fucking people going into the playoffs. MVS. It's going to be a lot of MVS. It's going to be a lot of focus on Devontae. It's going to be run, and then play action MVS, AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones. If you're playing FanDuel, use AJ Dillon this week because it's going to be a monster fucking week for AJ Dillon. But it's going to be a low-scoring run game for them. Schematically, they're just smarter than most people. It's just what they just succeed like that. That's how they win games. And it's an AJ Dillon game. It's just a fact.
Yeah, I think this year we've seen so many players come back to practice, but then still not play. And
he shouldn't play.
Well, I'm taking this bet, even thinking Aaron Jones doesn't play.
He shouldn't. Bye weeks next week. That's so stupid.
Exactly. There's just so much value here. It's a pick'em in Green Bay, and it's not like it's in Green Bay in September. This is fucking end of November. Yeah. This is when the home field at Lambeau kicks in.
And Odell didn't come there.
Well, and here's
it's that narrative of he should have Green Bay. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. Those are gonna be the stories. I can already predict Monday's headlines.
Yeah, 100%. The one nice thing I would say that LA has going for them, though, it's so you're LA, you're that warm weather team. but it's Matt Stafford who's been playing in Detroit and been going to Green Bay every single year.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be fazed by anything that happens at Lambeau. But it's too much value. I'm not going crazy on this one. I'm only 0.1 units. I just can't pass up on that value. They're not 2 games in a row at home in a pick'em. I'm all day on that.
Look, I respect Matt Stafford more than most fans in the league. I've watched him play for his entire career against the Packers and a lot of fucking teams. This guy is a legit Hall of Fame quarterback that played on a really bad team.
I don't hate that. Yeah.
I really do think the 2 teams that are the highest chance to win the Super Bowl are the Packers and the Rams. I really do that. I think I rest my laurels on that. If the Packers and the Rams do not win the Super Bowl this year, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, you can throw the Dolphins into the mix, but other than that, I think you're right.
Throw them into something.
DJ, we got 3 plays left here. Let's go into one of yours. You've got a play in the Chargers-Broncos game, a little AFC West matchup. What do you got here?
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos stink. I think when it comes down to, I saw 2.5. I think the Broncos. They had a bye last week. Coming off the bye, I don't care. I just think they're a bad football team.
But dude, but before that, they got rolled by the Eagles.
And let's think about Teddy Bridgewater's career. Every time he goes somewhere, they're all excited about him for like the first 5 weeks.
Yeah,
and then he turns into shit.
And then reality sets in.
It's garbage, and it just continues to be that everywhere he goes. It starts out great, it's kind of cool, and then it's just really bad. And it's like, fuck, he's really not that good. And it's like that every single year. There's a couple of players and a couple of teams that regress as they go on. The Raiders are one of them, by the way.
Oh,
the Raiders always start off hot. I don't remember the last time the Raiders going to start off really hot and then just be really bad the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I don't. Teddy Bridgewater's that same way. Broncos, they're not a very good football team. They just aren't. They have a really good defense. Offensively, they're inept. If they can get Javonte Williams going and they give him the ball, and Melvin Gordon, but really Javonte Williams, they could be in this game. But I just don't think. Again, schematically, their front office, their head coach, I just don't think they're smart enough to do things like that. They start to panic during the game and they start to throw once they get behind. And obviously the Chargers kind of offensively put up a show last week with the Steelers, which is fun to watch. Defensively, they sucked again. They were good for a while for the first half, and then suddenly it fell apart.
Yeah. But
2.5 points, they should win this game by 5 to 14, somewhere in that area. I don't think there should be an issue at all for them. Maybe the Broncos score at the end, but they won't cover.
The Broncos, we're degenerates. Me and you, we're gonna gamble on NFL games until until they can't see anymore. That's gonna be what we do. But the Broncos are the perfect example of why a sane human being should never bet on the NFL.
Yeah,
because 3 weeks ago,
yeah,
exactly. But 3 weeks ago, though, the Broncos completely murder the Cowboys.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, the Broncos get absolutely murdered by the Eagles. It just doesn't make sense. That's what scared me because I saw the Chargers at 3. You got it at 2.5. I love 2.5. I like the Chargers here. But the only reason I didn't make this as a play is just because every week a team like the Broncos and the Eagles and the Vikings I'm just starting to pass on those games. I'm like, fuck it. They're so unpredictable.
Yeah, and that's the reason I put only 1.1 unit on it is because it's the Chargers.
Too good to pass up, right?
It's a divisional game, but it seems to make a lot of sense for the Chargers to cover this.
Yeah. No, I don't hate that play. I like that. If I'm going to
lose, this is if I'm going to lose, I'm only going to use a small little unit on it. And I'm whatever, but it just seems like a lock to me.
If I could put that down to 2.5, I'm with you. I would have put that on there. I should have put that on there 0.1 unit as well. I like that play. This is my last one.
I can't believe you're doing this.
Well, I really like this play. I've only got 0.2 units on it, but it's the Ravens versus the Browns. Ravens -3. Look here.
I have so many questions about this game.
I'm higher on the Ravens than I likely should be but we're going to get Lamar Jackson back. And I know Hollywood Brown's a little bit dinged up, but they're not even my concern. I don't have as many concerns as many teams do. My concern comes in when it's the Browns. And I just don't see the Browns as this all-out like team that's ready to compete at this point. They looked like they were going to be that team as the season started, but they're doing the exact same thing that the Saints are doing right now. They're imploding at the wrong time. What did they do last week in a game that they should have just completely rolled their opponent? They won by like 3 in an ugly effort. And you could say the same thing about the Ravens. I get that. It was against the Bears. They should have beat them by more.
Previously, they did the same thing, though, not with Lamar Jackson and healthy. They had a similar.
Yeah, that Dolphins game. I mean, they didn't look good. Yeah, I get that. But they still hung on against the Bears on the road with Tyler Huntley. And we're likely going to get Lamar Jackson back in this game. And there is a history with these two, obviously, as divisional rivals and opponents. The Browns have taken it to the Ravens while Lamar Jackson has been the quarterback. I get that. Yeah, they've completely rolled them.
This year they've won by like 38 points or some shit, 36.
I don't see it happening again. I think 3 is a bit of a gift here. This is one of those discount weekends, man. You're getting the Ravens off of a lucky win.
Hate it.
Why don't you like it?
Chubb's playing, right? So I mean, we obviously know it's no glove season.
Kareem Hunt may be back too.
It's no glove season for Nick Chubb. The only thing I worry about is the fact that Baker Mayfield is I actually would like the Browns better if Colt McCoy was playing.
I don't think you're alone on that.
Baker Mayfield should not be playing football. He's so injured right now. It's fucking ridiculous. He's not good. He looks terrible. Nothing looks good right now. And I said earlier this season, they are not a Super Bowl winning team with Baker Mayfield as their starting quarterback. Colt McCoy is a tiny bit of notch below Baker Mayfield when Baker Mayfield is 100%, and he's above him when he's at this injured labrum and knees, and he can barely walk, and he looks like Ben Roethlisberger right now. And I don't want anything to do with him. I don't like the Browns. They can run the ball. I don't like the Ravens either. It's a divisional thing. I don't like it. I hate everything about this game. I don't like it. I don't know what's going to happen.
In Baltimore, primetime game. And you know what, man? I'm talking about all the trends this week. The last 6 games for the Browns. A loss, a win. A loss, a win. A loss, a win. Guess what they're due for this week, DJ? A big old L.
I just don't like it. I just prefer it sucks. It's Sunday night.
Yep.
Oh, great. I have to fucking bet on it, and I just don't want to.
And you have to.
I wish it was 3:00.
Dude, you want to know why I just got kind of freaked out there during your analysis while you were talking?
No.
You know me. I'm a big, not a fan of doing this, but I do this often. I DVR, not the Dolphins games, but I'll DVR like Gators games. Like when we do like a podcast, or if I'm doing something with the family, and then I'll avoid the score and I'll come back and watch it. Well, while I was waiting, I got home from my dinner. You were still having a couple of drinks. I got through the first half of the Gators basketball game.
No.
I paused it.
Did they lose?
Well, here's the deal. I paused it at halftime so I could watch the second half once we get done here. I go to ESPN.com to look up these damn Browns games. I found out that they won already. So great that they won. They won by 3.
How much? What?
3.
Oh, fuck. Wait, I think they were 2.5 point favorites, right?
Well, that'd be good. I don't know. I didn't get the bet on it.
Hold on, let me go back. I gotta go look. I think
so. The worst thing too is why I was a little bit late too, because I was waiting for the last.
They played Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Ohio State.
I was waiting for the last in-game bet that I could do, and I could have gotten Florida +4, but they were playing so bad the last couple of minutes that I was watching that I'm like, fuck it, I'm not gonna bet. I'm just gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna avoid the score.
2.5.
And then I look up the fucking Cleveland Browns and I ruin the game for me. So I'm still gonna go upstairs and watch this fucking game when I'm done. But I already know the damn outcome.
News, bro. Like I lost my first 2 games. I bet on Florida because I've watched Ohio State. They can't score. And I had 2.5 points. I had to take Florida that game, and you just thank you. I appreciate. Maybe it's turned around now.
I'm so pissed at myself because I get pissed if like other people ruin it for me, but I get even more pissed at myself when I fuck up.
I love Rooney for holy shit. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at Houston beat the fuck out of Oregon. All right,
yeah, they did. We got one more game left, and then we can, like I said, it's college basketball season. These holiday tournaments.
I'm doing Friday Night Lines for college basketball all the way.
To March. Token.
All the way to March.
Just forget about your family season, baby.
Yep. To March, I'm doing Friday Night Lines for college basketball. I will not stop after the football season's done. I'm going right through college basketball season.
Can't
right
wait.
into Saturday college basketball, Friday Night Lines all year.
That's perfect. Well, we've got one more game left, and DJ, you're taking another dog. What do you got in this Titans-Pats game?
It's the Patriots hype right now. Derrick Henry isn't there. AJ Brown isn't healthy. He's got a chest injury. He might not show up. Ryan Tannehill threw 4 interceptions this last week. Patriots are at home. Everything tells you to take the Patriots minus whatever number they are. What?
You good?
Yeah, I've been drinking. And everything tells me that seems very aggressive. I don't believe in the Patriots. I don't believe in the AFC. The Titans play if you go look, I don't have to look at the schedule. If you go look at this year, it's weird because usually, and I made a mistake apparently earlier this year, they usually beat the shit out of bad teams. This year they're playing or losing to bad teams and beating the good teams. So now I'm jumping back. I'm switching my analysis from earlier. Patriots are a solid team. They play up to their opponent. They beat the Patriots in this game. Titans plus 7, lock. I'm sprinkling the money line. That's why it's a 0.6 unit bet. The Titans are tough. AJ Brown loves this type of game. He's injured. People are doubting him, and this is where he just fucking drops 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Man, what are they lost to here? The Jets and the Texans.
Yeah.
And there's one other team I think that they lost to. And
then they beat the Ravens and the Bills or some shit like that.
Yeah, they beat the Bills. It's such a weird up and down year. I think you're getting the value here because right now, you're going to get so much public money on the Patriots.
100%.
Just because, dude, the media strokes the Patriots. We know that. And, and there's a lot of Patriots fans. There's also a lot of fair weather fans in this game. So you might even be able to hold out for 7.5 here. I think this line might even go up. It might work to your advantage even more. Maybe I find a way to bet on this game. I'm not doing it now, but you're on the right side of this. There's no way I wouldn't take the Titans in this game.
The last few games, they've beat the Bills, the Chiefs. They beat the fuck out of the Chiefs, the Titans, and the Rams, and the Saints. They lost to the Texans. Yeah. It's such a weird team right now, and they lost to the Jets.
They're the Jets. Yeah, is there one other?
Any sense?
Did they lose 3 games?
Yeah, they lost to the Cardinals too.
Oh, week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, boo-hoo. Week 1 was a fucking year ago at this point. Week 1, you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, again, when it comes to week 1, nobody should count that because the Packers lost 38-3 to the Saints. So
and the Dolphins beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate this. You know what I'm gonna say. You're betting against New England in New England, which is never doesn't feel good, doesn't feel right.
Not worried.
You wouldn't be worried.
They feel weird. They almost play weirder at home, they're less amped.
I don't know, man. I've been a Dolphins fan for too long, where I've seen so many
because the Dolphins beat them and used to beat them at New England a decent amount of times.
No, they always win in Miami and they get mucked up in New England.
What was the miracle game? I thought that was in New England.
That was in Miami. I bet on New England that week.
The Kenyon Drake game.
Yeah. No, I like your side on this one. I would get that hook just to be on the safe side.
I think they win though. 7 points.
Well, more power to you. That's perfect. I think you can wait this one out and get the hook.
I don't think you can. I think it's going to go the opposite way because I know I think sharp money will be on the Titans, and I think it's going to bring it back.
That could happen. Well, then buy the hook now and get 7.5 before it goes to 6.5, and you got to buy it up to 7.
Or 6.5 and 6s as you get closer.
Fair enough. No, I don't hate that at all. DJ, do you have anything else you would like to add to this episode?
No, I know you're probably sleeping right now.
Well, I just got to get back up and watch that Gators game that they already fucking won. God, what a rookie mistake. I'm so pissed at myself. Busch Light. I'm blaming it on Busch Light.
You know what? I'm glad you gave it to me because I was gonna look anyways after this and probably tell you.
Well, I'm going to say this. As always, check us out on Twitter because like you saw last week with that Ravens-Bears game, when we record these on Wednesday, we are liable to change our mind. The spreads might change, and we will let you know, like what we did this last week as the Ravens game changed. In case things do move, lines move throughout the week, we know how this happens, especially with injuries. Pay attention to that because we record this on Wednesday, and we might have a change of heart on Saturday or Sunday. So check back on Twitter. We're at Loaded Box. The website, loadedboxpodcast.com. Everything we do is there as DJ smells his fingers. Next episode, we'll be doing the same thing, but for week 13, we're available everywhere you listen to podcasts, including Google Play, Apple Play. What's that platform with the little green thing?
It's funny because I forget it every time too. And I if people get Spotify.
I did that on purpose. I meant to do it last week just to make fun of you for doing it with Logan.
Oh yeah, I forget it every time. I still forgot it.
Because like in the back of my mind as you guys were signing off, I knew what you wanted to say, and I'm like, oh, the motherfucker can't remember the word Spotify.
I forget Spotify every single day of my life, just by the way. I've never remembered the name of it.
But it's funny though, because I remember it as the little green thing too.
Yeah, I will never remember Spotify. I promise you that.
It's good marketing. So you can find us there if you even know what Spotify is, unlike DJ. And YouTube, subscribe, rate, review. DJ, send us in some fucking Thanksgiving.
Bye.